so hard since we here. It's only right that we be fair. Psycho, I'm liable to go Michael. Take your pick. Jackson, Tyson, Jordan. Game 6. Fall so hard, got a broke clock. Rollies that don't tick tock. All the Mars that's losing time. Hidden behind all these big rocks. Fall so hard, I'm shocked too. I'm supposed to be locked up too.
Hair wrapping. Molding or wrapping the hair around the head so the finished hairstyle takes on the shape of the head. Sectioning allows for better control of the hair and the more carefully and allows you to more carefully plan a design. Straight shapes are shapes like rectangles and squares, or circles, not circles, triangles and trapezoids. And then curved shapes are like circles, ovals, and anything else that's kind of curved. I'll show you what we drew here. And I don't know what to call those shapes, but I wouldn't really say. I guess those are oblong, but they're not a shape that people would really be familiar with. And there's different types of directions that you can do parting within them, and that's what's drawn there. And then we have horizontal. So if you do horizontal partings within a rectangle, it creates rectangular bases. If you do radial parting within a circular shape, it'll create triangular bases. And the bases are usually used for curls, or that's what we're doing with now. Components of a curl are the base, stem, and circle. The bases can be 1 diameter of whatever tool you're using, 1.5 diameter, or 2 diameters. The area between partings within a shape where the tool is placed. So it's just the section that you're taking, the base outline of whatever shape it is on the scalp. A stem or arc is the hair between the scalp and the first turn of whatever tool you're using. It determines the amount of movement. Longer stems are more movement, and shorter stems are less movement. And the circle is the actual curl of the hair positioned around the roller or whatever tool, and it determines the size of the curl. It's determined by the diameter of the tool. Base controls for hairstyling. The combination of the size of the base, the position of the curl in relation to the base affects the volume and closeness or indentation of the curl or the style. Base size we talked about could be 1 diameter, 1.5 diameters, 2 diameters. And the tool usually determines what base you're using. Tool position: on base, half off base, under-directed, and over-directed. Okay, so on base or full base is a curl centered between the top and bottom partings of the base. Most volume and strongest base strength. Half off base or half base is a curl that sits on the bottom parting of the base. And there's less base strength, less volume. It's directed 90 degrees from the center of the base, or 90 degrees of where the hair grows. But you can't see this because this is 90 degrees from where this hair grows. So I'll show you guys that stuff in a little bit. Off base, the curl sits below the bottom parting of the base, creating a minimum base strength and the least volume of lift. 45 degrees from the center of the base. So let's see if I can find a good spot here. So if this is 90 from where this is growing from, this would be 45. So you'd roll it there instead for an off base curl. Under directed, curl sits on the lower portion of the base, not below parting. So this is used when the partings or the sectioning is larger than 1 diameter. Otherwise, there's no way you could sit on an upper or lower part of the parting. We didn't do those today though, like the under directed and over directed, so I'm not going to do that yet. And then this other page really is unimportant at the moment. So I'm going to try to show you guys. You're supposed to do all this sort of stuff on wet hair, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like it. So I'll take out a roller so I can show you guys. Because this is how you accurately do it. You're supposed to take the section. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this section, since I did it so many times over and over today, is the correct width, but this is the way you'd measure the width of the section if you're going to do rollers. So you comb all the hair back, and then you just there's little ridges on the roller, and you want to go within the ridges. So this is too far on this side. So I'm just gonna try to piece that out. And you take like a mohawk shaped section to begin with. So let's just say that this is accurate, because why not? So these are the sides of your sectioning. You take them back like a mohawk. And if you're doing one diameter, you use the roller itself to measure. So it's going from the hairline to one diameter away. And you take your comb and you part. Or you section. So this isn't straight really, but you get the idea. So when you go from here, you comb the hair in whatever direction that you're going to do it. So like roll it in. So if you're going to do 45 over directed, you can do the 45 here. Then you take the hair and you roll it. And well, it's not wet, so it's not going to be very cooperative. But say we roll it down, 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 45 degree. It will sit directly on the base that you've created. It will sit right on top of it. Now, if we're going to do an off-base curl, it's the same sectioning method, same amount of hair, so I don't have to redo it, unless we're using a different tool, and you do 90 degrees from where the hair grows. I'd say that's pretty much 90 right there. And the hair also on my mannequin's uneven because of the way I was told to cut it. So, if you're going to roll it down at 90 degrees, it'll set half on base and half off base. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but the whole roller is not sitting directly on the base of where it's created. It's kind of going off onto the next part of the hair. And then in that situation, since it's off base, you measure just a half of the diameter so that all the rollers are still right next to each other. You don't want to leave gaps between them. So now when you go to do the 45, or this is off base and 45 degrees under directed, so you'd roll it down, and where the curl sits will be completely off base. It's not on the base that we created at all. I know it's really messy. I can do a neater one if you guys really want, but if you guys get the idea, I don't think there's a need to do a whole nother video on that. So that's the idea. That's what we did today. We did one mohawk shape section of, we practiced all the other different partings, but those aren't in our book. So it's in our hair cutting book. We practiced radial parting, symmetrical parting, asymmetrical parting, stuff like that. If you guys want to see that stuff, you can let me know too. It's not really a big deal. I'm sure I'll use it in the hairstyling that I'll show you guys. But for the rollers today, we did a mohawk of on base, mohawk of off base, mohawk of half on base or half base, and then we did a whole head of on base today. So it was an interesting experience. My curls weren't like the neatest that they could be. Like, we didn't actually let them dry, but I could tell with the way the hair was sitting on the roller they weren't. I suspect I'll get better with practice, and also the varying lengths of the haircut really aren't helping me. But I'm hoping, if anything, this will be more challenging than what I'll deal with in real life. I can show you guys also the partings that we do. Like I said, you'll take that mohawk section all the way back. So just imagine that this is all rectangular all the way down the back, right? So if you want to section the sides, all you have to do is just part behind the ears like we normally do, which is perfect. So then you have pretty much 5 sections that you have to curl. You do the mohawk section first, and then you do the 2 back panels. You do both of the back sides first before you would move to the front sides, because you don't want to box yourself in, because if you did here and then you did here, there's a chance that the rollers might not fit in this middle section here. So you want to do the back and then the 2 back sides, then you can move to the front sides, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you for subscribing. I think I have 1 subscriber now. Yeah, tell me if I can do anything else for you guys, and have a good night. Thanks, bye.
You escape, but I escape. You be in Paris getting fucked up too. Fall so hard, let's get faded. Liberties for like 6 days. Gold bottles, skull models, spilling ace on my sick days. So fall so hard, bitch behave. Just might let you meet gay.